Mark, there was something you were trying to mention earlier.
So I had kind of the story of how I got into this game and kind of why I wanted to even focus on it a little bit too. And it's like all good stories. It starts with the Wii U. And so I got the Wii U for Smash Brothers. And then this was back in college. And so then sometime along there was a Humble bundle that came out for the Wii U and 3DS where it's humbly paid like $7. You get 12 games. I really wanted Bit Trip Runner 2 was one of those, but also in that pack was SteamWorld Dig. And so
it was.
That was not on my radar at all, but like, I'll try this out. I have it now and I played it and I loved it. And it's like, it became one of my favorite games of all time. It's really the first time that I really noticed and appreciated a gameplay loop. Like SteamWorld Dig, some of this game, you dig down, you get ore, you come back up, you sell the ore, you buy upgrades, and you can dig deeper and you just keep it going until you reach the end. And so that that just like helped me recognize like, oh, a lot of these things I like in games are this loop of how you build this in. That's a very obvious loop. So fast forward to 2025, there's this small indie game called a game about digging a hole. It comes out on Steam. I hear about it from a few podcasts I listen to. And it sounds like SteamWorld Dig, but in 3D. It's like a little simpler, but like it's $5. What's not to love? I'll definitely check this out. So I was playing through it, really enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. It's like just a great loop of you dig down, you get your ore, you come back up, you sell the ore into your computer, and then you get better stuff. You can go deeper. I played it over like 2 or 3 sessions, and then and so to avoid getting to spoilers here, the ending definitely did not undercut my appreciation for gameplay loops in it, and definitely didn't make me question why I even enjoy video games at all. That's not what happened here. But it did make me it did do that, but we can't go too far down yet.
Right.
And it did make me kind of like question of like what isn't in games that make a good gameplay loop, and I'm like, is a good gameplay loop enough? Because it really there is narrative to this in a way that's like I didn't expect even that much narrative, and that's like the spoil at the end of the game. But like I thought I was coming into this as just a game that like it's a good gameplay loop. That's all you really need, and I was kind of blindsided by it not being that. And it's so I'm wandering around this question a lot, but like what is it like? Is a good gameplay loop enough within a game, or do you need more? Like we're talking about like we want lore out of this game. There's really not really that much lore to it, but what do y'all think?
I think it would depend on how long the game is. If it's just like one loop, like this is great, a perfect game for just like a simple, fun gameplay loop that you could just. I mean, like I said, I tried to beat it as fast as I could this last time, hoping to get that achievement, and then it's 38 minutes as opposed to the 30 that you needed. God dang it! Gotta try again. But like it's so short that it's almost, in some sense, it reminds me a little bit of like the roguelike genre in that way. Of like, I really enjoy roguelikes because it's like this short gameplay loop. You can make progress and then you can stop when you inevitably probably fail. This one you don't usually fail. But like within that, just like that short gameplay loop, I think can be really helpful. I think especially as like a dad and having a family and work and everything, like short things like this are very relieving. So I don't know. I think the gameplay loop is enough on the one hand, if it's truly fun, and also if the game doesn't overstay its welcome. And I did appreciate that about this game. It did not overstay its welcome. It didn't promise more than it could give. It just was a simple, fun game.
This game sort of served as a palate cleanser for me. I looked at it before I started it. Well, I had just finished Spider-Man 2 at the time.
Nice.
And, that's when the conversation about this game came up. And I knew it was short. So, it was, I looked at it like something like Power Wash Simulator, you know? let me try this thing out. It was on Game Pass. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me give it a shot. Just sitting there, and before you know it, time goes by. I'm digging dirt. And like, this game is dumb. But you couldn't stop playing. Dig a hole, and sell your rocks, and the whole loop. And before you know it, you're just kind of sucked into it. But yeah, this is just one of those relaxing, just kind of zen games, if you will. Just something to decompress with. But yeah, for me, I mean, it was really just kind of a palate cleanser between games.
Yeah. Spike, you've been pretty quiet for the most part. I'm kind of curious, like to get some feedback. Like, I might regret this. Please don't make me regret this.
Well, I wasn't sure how much of this dips into the spoiler, so I was saving a lot of this for the spoiler, but it's kind of been hit on already. The gameplay loop itself is, obviously it's the bread and butter of it. I feel like the game itself, though, it's a parody, right? I don't know how else to say it, right? It's the functions there, they're fun. But the absurdity of the fact that you're just playing a game with such a simple premise feels a bit like a joke, right? Like you could sit and get deep where you're not supposed to get deep, and that's my favorite thing to do. I like digging deep where they didn't intend for you to. But if you want to focus on like the why of this game, maybe this is spoiler, maybe not. You could say that it's simultaneously a metaphor and literal at the same time, right? Like it's. There's part of this conversation that I want to say after the fact, that after the spoiler part, but I'll leave it at that for right now because it has a lot to do with where this game leaves you. So I'll
I definitely think there's some ways to read this that and I'm kind of looking forward to that conversation. Porcho, I kind of like what are your thoughts and feelings in regarding to the loop?
I think it would have been a good game to briefly bring up in my conversation with Mark on Quick Play recently about games we could play with our kids, because this is one that I did play with my son Atticus for at least an hour before he fell asleep that night. And there's very much it brings out the sense even as us, I think, in, what am I going to find by keeping on digging? And I feel like it brought that out in my son. He just kept asking me, you go over there, what's in that direction? And what's that? And just lots of those questions. How, what, why, how, and I enjoy that about Loop because, he'd be like, you're about to run out of battery. You need to go get more battery. And like, okay, I'll go get more battery. So he liked the Loop because gave him something to see, me flying up out of the hole. And, where are you going to go now when I come back? So I think the Loop's fine. And you come back and you get rewarded every time until you don't.
It's I am very mechanically driven. Like, I love a good story, but primarily the draw for most games is mechanical for me. So it's about how it controls. And actually, I love a good loop. Dave, you brought up roguelikes. Hades is one of my favorite games of all time because it's just got a perfect loop. Absalom is sort of my recent obsession. And it's because it's got the loop is just super tight. And so when you have now this is it's a very simplified game mechanically, but the loop sticks. I mean, Dorian, you even talked about it, how you're playing it for a few minutes and you're like, this is so dumb. Why am I doing this? There's this internal monologue, probably the first 15 minutes of the game. You're just like, what? This is dumb. This is so dumb. And then, you keep going just like a little bit past that. And it's like, oh, I'm having fun, and not just a little bit of fun, but actually a substantial amount of fun. I should not be enjoying this nearly as much as I do, but it's very zen.
I want to know what's down there. I want to know the treasure is.
Yeah, the treasure. It's true. That actually, I was like,
yeah. But it's just one of those things where I think, for me, as someone who like loop is a drawing factor, I think especially there's a lot of factors, and Dave, you kind of hit it too, is that this is short. It's pretty simple. It's easy to get into. And I think that is sort of a bit of a perfect storm, where it's just kind of like, and I think too, like one of the other things, like, and just sort of, I know this is kind of, but the fact that it's $5, and you can play it, you can beat it in an hour or two, speaks volumes, I think. And so that adds to that, like, yeah, in some ways there isn't a lot going on, but it's sort of like the right price point, the right amount of content, the loop, it makes sense. And yeah, so that's, I mean, that for me was like I said, so it's like, going back to that question, it's like, is the loop enough? Like, yeah. Yeah. I mean, for $5, yeah.